Oh, there we go. Recording in progress. Lovely. What I'm going to do is I'm going to call everybody one by one, and I'm going to ask you, once I call the name that's on your Zoom account, to unmute yourself, and I want you to describe yourself in an interesting way. So I'm going to start. My name is Delightful Dale. So I've got a D and then another D. In English, we call that alliteration. I'm Delightful Dale. The next person I'm going to go to is, their screen name is Hiba Ahmed. Can that person unmute, please, and introduce themselves?
Hi, my name's Happy Hiba.
Oh, Hiba, I'm so sorry, Hiba. Sorry for mispronouncing your name. Wonderful, thank you very much. The next person I'm going to go to is Abjit Jamal. Am I pronouncing that correctly? If they can unmute themselves.
My name is Rishank.
Okay, lovely. Have you got an adjective for your name beginning with an R?
I'm his father, so that's my account he's logging in.
Okay, so what was your name again? Sorry,
Rishank.
Rishan, can you give me an adjective beginning with an R to describe your name? So I'm Delightful Dale. What are you going to be?
Rabbit Rishank.
Oh, very much like that. Well done. Let's go to Hafsa. Hafsa is our next one.
I'm Miss Hafsa.
Lovely. I like that one. Thank you very much. The next person on my list is Hamza. Hamza, your turn. Not sure if Hamza can hear us, or the person whose account name is Hamza. Sorry, we just joined late. Hamza, I'll come back to you, okay? Shall we move? And Hamza, you'll be able to work out what's going on. Hanya, Haniya. Can that person unmute?
Humble Hanya.
Humble Hanya. I like that one. Humble Hanya. Lovely. So I'm Delightful Dale. You're Humble Hanya. Let's move on to Hazel. Can Hazel unmute, please, and give me an introduction?
I am Hilarious Hazel.
Oh, wow. Hazel, that's a fantastic adjective. Well done. Lovely to meet you. Let's move on to Javiria.
Jolly Javeria.
Jolly Javiria. That's, oh, fantastic. Excellent. I like that adjective. Well done. Lots of cheerful people on this chat. Now I'm next on my list. I've got Luna. Are you there, Luna? If not, perhaps we'll move on. Okay, let's move on to Nathaniel. Nathaniel Fan.
Smart Nathaniel.
Oh, Nathaniel, you used an S word, smart. I like the word smart. It's good to know that you're smart. Can you think of a word beginning with an N to describe yourself?
No.
What about naughty, Nathaniel? Have you heard anything naughty ever, Nathaniel? Ever?
Okay.
Okay, then. Right. Thank you, Nathaniel. It's good to meet you. Next, I've got Nicholas. Nicky in brackets.
Noble Nicholas.
Oh, I like that, Nicholas. Well done. Noble Nicholas. Well done. Good to meet you. Then we've got Nour, is it? Noure?
Marvelous Mohammed.
Oh, your name's Mohammed. Okay, lovely. Marvellous Mohammed. I like that very much, Mohammed. Well done. Shall we go back to, was it Hamza we missed out?
Humble Hamza.
Humble Hamza, fantastic. I think that's everyone. I'm going to leave for 5 seconds for somebody to unmute if they've been missed off. Okay, that must be everyone. Right, as you can see on my screen, there is a picture of a woman with a dog. How does this woman feel and how do we know? If you could put your hands up on the chat, pressing the hands up button on the top of your screen, I should be able to see that. Let's just have a look. I can see Nicholas has got his hand up.
Hello. Negative. She's feeling negative
Good, that's interesting. How do you know that, Nicholas? How do you know she's feeling negative?
because she's having an angry face.
Good, she's got an angry face. How else, Heba, do we know that she's feeling negative? Oh, sorry, Heba, wasn't it? Heba, sorry. Oh, you're on mute, Heba.
She's a bit annoyed and angry.
Good, and how do we know? So Nicholas said she has an angry face. Looking at her, how else do we know that's how she feels?
Her arms are on her hips.
Her arms are on her hips. Fantastic. Yes, that's right. Well done. Good. Now I can move on to a slightly different picture. Clearly, she's not very happy that her dog's pooed on the carpet. Now, oh, the worst thing has happened to this man. He has dropped his ice cream. Can you tell me, Luna, I noticed that your hand is up, if you can unmute, and tell me, how does this man feel? Say that again, sorry. Right, I'm not sure, Luna. I think you're still on mute. So I'm going to move on to Hazel, who's got their hand up. Hazel, how does this person feel?
He's feeling melancholy.
Oh, melancholy. I like that word. Another word for sad. Fantastic. How can you tell, Hazel, that he feels sad?
Because of his expression.
The expression on his face. Good. So what has he got? What's his mouth doing?
His mouth is sad and tears are coming out of his eyes.
Good. He's got tears coming out of his eyes and he has a frown, a sad mouth, a frown. Good. Look at the way he stood. Let's see if somebody else can tell me how we know he feels sad. Let's go to Hanya. Hanya, can you tell me how we know he feels sad?
He's kneeling down beside his ice cream and he has tears rolling down on his cheek.
Good, he's kneeling down and he's got his hands under his mouth. Good, wonderful. Good. So we can tell just by looking at pictures how people feel. But can we always tell by writing? Let's have a look at some descriptions here. Right, just need to move you guys out the way so I can read them. We've got two descriptions here of those pictures. We've got one in pink and one in yellow. I chose pink and yellow because I'm colourblind and I find it really hard to tell the difference between colours. But pink and yellow, I 100% know the difference between those two. So Fido the dog stood as proud as Punch next to the repulsive pile of poo that he had just produced. Fatima's patience shattered like glass beneath her feet. Clenching her fists, she frowned so aggressively that her eyebrows became two aeroplanes descending towards the ground. Then I've got my yellow description, and it says, Fido the dog stood as proud as Punch next to the repulsive pile of poo that he had just produced. Fatima was incredibly angry. Now, who can tell me which of those passages, the pink one or the yellow one, is best at telling me what has happened? Hiba, can you tell me which one is best at describing?
I think the pink one is better because it gives you more explanation of how Fatima feels, and it's like she's not just angry, she's so angry that she's clenching her fist, she's frowning, so it just describes it better.
Fantastic, Hiba, well done. Who else has got their hand up? I can see Nikki has got his hand up.
The pink one is elaborating on the yellow one because it has much more better adjectives and description.
Good, well done. Nikki, can you find for me the word angry in the pink description?
Aggressively.
Aggressively. But does it ever say that she feels angry?
No.
No. But it does in the second one. That's interesting. I never said that she felt angry. She does something aggressively, but I never said she felt angry. If you feel excited, you might punch the air aggressively. Yay! My football team has scored. You're not feeling angry. That's interesting. So even though I never said in the pink box that she feels angry, we all can understand that. Let's move on to the next slide. This is the one describing the ice cream and the man who dropped it. Let's have a look. Plop! The ice cream fell from Charlie's hand and raced to the ground. He was very sad. His ice cream splattered on the ground like a forgotten dream, slowly spread across the kitchen floor. Good. Now, let's have a look at the next one. So, plop! The ice cream fell from Charlie's hand and raced to the ground. He hunched over in sorrow, tears tumbling down his cheeks like rain from a stormy sky. His ice cream splattered on the ground like a forgotten dream, slowly spread across the slippery floor. Lovely. Now, let me have a look at my list of people again and see who's got their little yellow hand up. Mohammed, you've got your hand up. Which of those is best describing the situation that Charlie found himself in?
The yellow one.
The yellow one. Why do you think that, Mohammed?
Because it has luck. It's luck. It's luck showing how he is luck. What happened while he was upset?
Excellent. So it gives me more detail. Is that what you're saying?
I think yes.
Okay, lovely, good. Hazel, you've got your hand up. What do you think? Oh, you're on mute, Hazel. There we go.
The yellow one because it has more description and it tells us how he feels sad. It didn't even use sad. It used something else.
Hazel, you are ahead of the game. By the way, I'm sorry if I read anyone's parents' names out by mistake. It's just that's the name that comes up on your screen. So you can be your mum or dad's name for the afternoon. But well done. You did an excellent job and you answered my next question, which was, in that yellow one, I've got all that detail, but I never say that he feels sad. I just describe how he is feeling. I don't tell you. I'm showing you by talking about maybe his tears down his cheeks, talking about him hunched over, but I'm not telling you. Let's move on to the next slide. Because it says, why were the passages that didn't say sad or angry the better ones? Well, in creative writing, it's always better to show how someone is feeling and not tell how someone is feeling. This makes our writing more engaging and helps to build an image in the reader's head. Now, I would think that in those longer passages that had more detail, you all had a better image in your head of that person in their situation than the short ones where I just put, they were sad, they were angry. Right, let's keep going. Has anyone seen the Inside Out films? Give me, if your camera is on, maybe give me a big nod if you've seen the Inside Out films. Or I can see a few nods. Good. Shortly, we're going to use our acting skills to pretend to be the emotion from each film. And we are going to use our bodies and our voices to do this. Okay, so I'm going to join in. You might want to put yourselves on mute because it might be a bit too noisy with all the people shouting out, but I can imagine that I can hear you. So there we go. Is everybody on mute? Let's have a look. I think so, apart from me. Right. Let's all use our bodies and our voices to act out as disgust. Is everybody joining in? I can see some excellent disgusted faces and hand movements there. Well done. Maybe you're doing a wonderful job. Next one. Fear. Oh, Mohammed, well done. You did an excellent fearful face. Nathaniel, can I see your fearful face? Oh, wonderful. Well done. Good. Right, next one. Joy. Yay! Woo! Oh, fantastic. Good. Let's go to sadness. Excellent, Hazel. Oh, well done. Oh, well done. Abjit, well done. Oh, with the wonderful sadness. And last one. Anger. It's so annoying. Oh, wow. It was like seeing a Zoom call full of Oscar-winning actors there. Fantastic. Good. Now, on the screen, it asks us 3 questions. What did we do with our faces? Did we do with our voices? And maybe if we stood up and joined in, if we could do the sitting down too, what did we do with our hands and feet? Now, I'm going to pull up my list of people who are here. And if you've got your hand up, I might ask you. So I can see a little yellow hand from Abjit. Abjit, can you tell me what you did with your face, voice, and hands and feet for anger?
I made it very tight.
What did you make very tight?
My joints.
Your joints. Oh, good. So when you're angry, you have lots of tight joints. I like that. What about your voice when you're angry?
It was really like high.
Good. Oh, a very high voice. Okay, good. And with your hands and feet? What am I doing with my hands when I'm angry? I'm making them into what?
You're making them into fists.
Excellent. Well done. Good. Nathaniel, you've got your hand up. Can you tell me what you did with your face, voice, hands, and feet when you were sadness?
I frowned.
You frowned with your face. Good. What did you do with your voice when you're sad? Does your voice go up? Oh, I'm so sad. Or really low?
Low.
Low. Okay, low. Oh, I'm so sad. It could be either, couldn't it? What about your hands and feet? Where do you put your hands when you're feeling sad?
Relax them.
Relax them. Maybe some people might rub their eyes, put their hands on their head, maybe under their chin, like the picture of the guy, was it Charlie, who lost his ice cream? Oh, I don't think I'd stop crying for weeks if I lost my ice cream. Thank you, Nathaniel. I'm going to have one more person to tell me about what they did with their bodies. Let's have a look. I've got a heart on one of them. Nicholas, you've just given me a heart. What do you want to tell me? Can you tell me rather what you did for fear?
For fear, I did scared.
So you were scared, but what did you do with your face when you were fearful?
I was fearful.
How did you show that with your face? What did you do with your mouth when you were fearful?
I was taking it away from you.
Taking your right. So were you opening your mouth wide when you were fearful, or closing it really tight and shut?
Really tight and shut.
And does your voice go really high when you're scared, or really low when you're scared?
Yeah, it was getting really high and getting scared.
Good. And where do you put your hands? Maybe you can use the picture to help you. What do you do with your hands when you're fearful?
I was taking them to my chin and biting them.
Oh, I like that. Biting your nails, maybe. Oh, I'm so scared. Lovely. Now, I know that people have got lots of ideas, but we're going to write those down in a sec, okay? So keep hold of them. I'm going to move on to the next slide. So, what we're going to do, okay, we are going to write some passages just like I did, okay, using what's called show, not tell. We're going to show how a character feels rather than tell somebody what a character feels. So rather than say, Mary is upset and sad because her dog has run away, we might write down, the dog dashed off the lead and fast as a bullet down the street. Before Mary knew it, tears were rolling tightly across her face. She put her hands to her head and leaned down, as low as a snail, and started sobbing into the tarmac. It was the worst day of her life. Now, I think that's much better than just saying she feels sad. So on the worksheets that I uploaded online that hopefully you've all got, there's an activity 1 and activity 2. For activity 1, you're going to help yourself by writing down all those things you used with your hands and your bodies and everything for each emotion. And then for activity 2, we're going to play a bit of a game where we need to know our favourite colour, the month we were born, and the day we were born. And that's going to help us come up with I lost my train of thought. A scenario, like a little scene for us to write about, okay? Now, if anybody has not got that worksheet and needs me to put it on the screen for them, please can you let me know? There's an example of the extended writing, okay? And I'm going to say, I was going to leave it until 10 to. I wonder whether that's a little bit too soon. Shall we say 1:45? So at 5:45, we're going to come back. So we've got 20 minutes to do some really good creative writing, and then hopefully we can unmute and all read them out and make sure we've done a really good job. Now, I'm here to help you. So if you've got any questions, I'm going to stay on the call, just unmute and let me know if you need any help. If not, off you go with those 2 worksheets, and I can't wait to see how well we get on with writing these show not tell paragraphs ourselves, okay? Right, off we go. If you've got a question, don't worry about putting your hand up, okay? Because it's hard to see everyone. You can just unmute and then I can answer them for you.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry, you're breaking up. I can't hear you. I think somebody might be trying to speak, but their microphone isn't the best. So maybe they could type into the chat if they've got a question.
Sorry, what is the topic we're writing about?
So I can't see, it hasn't come up on my screen who's speaking to me, but we should have a worksheet that was uploaded on the web. So Hazel's typing she hasn't got the activity sheet. So we should have a worksheet that was on the website. What I can do is open that up on the screen for everyone to see. And anyone who hasn't got it should be able to join in that way. That'll take 1 second to open. Oh, here we go. Oh, right. For people who don't have the activity sheet, okay, I've got some examples of the paragraphs that we looked at earlier. And then we're writing down how we used our voice, face, and body for each of the inside-out emotions. So I've done disgust for everyone. We've got anger, sadness, joy, and fear. And then for activity 2, here I've got a table where we're going to use this table to help us write paragraphs like I did about Charlie and his ice cream, and I think it was Fatima and her dog. And what you need to do is choose your favourite colour. So let's say your favourite colour is red, the woman was. Choose your birthday month. Let's say you were born in November, so you'd be disgusted. And then you choose your birth date. So let's say you were born on the 5th of November. It would be before going on a roller coaster. So the woman was disgusted before going on a roller coaster. I'd write, I can't use the word disgusted, okay, so I might write, Mary was in the queue for the world's largest roller coaster, but her face didn't tell you that she was very excited for it. She scrunched up her forehead and her eyes and her mouth and looked mockingly at the people in front of her. Who on earth are all of these strangers? And on you might go. And I've got an example here at the bottom. I'm seeing a few people saying they haven't got access to the worksheet. I don't know, Saba, if you're still there, if you can perhaps help direct people to where it is on the website they need to go.
Yes. So Dale,
Yeah.
you have uploaded the worksheets on the classroom, and I can send a link to the classroom where the worksheets are uploaded. If you give me a
Oh,
minute.
okay, there we go. So in the chat in a minute, I know some people have got the worksheets in front of them and some haven't. So in a sec, Saba's going to post in the chat the link. And then even if you haven't got the printed out, you can always just write something onto pen and paper. Oh, there we go. So Saba's put in the chat. Saba, I think you might have sent that to me and not to everyone. Oh, hang on, if I copy it, there we go. So I just posted a link in the chat for hopefully everyone can see, which is to the worksheets. Apologies if anybody had trouble getting those beforehand, but I can see we've got some people who are jotting away. But if I maybe scroll down here, I'd say this is the most important. Somebody, Saba, in the chat is having an issue with their membership and saying they can't access the link.
Yeah, that should be solved now. They should be able to see
Okay,
it.
there we are. Hopefully now, and Nikki and Abjit, hopefully you should be able to have access to that. If not, you've got the most important task on the screen in front of you, where you choose your favorite color, your birthday month, and your birthday date, and you write your paragraph from there. So if not, you should just be able to do it from the screen. There's 2 activities, and that's the second one. And we're going to come back together in 15 minutes from now, where hopefully everybody should have done the first activity, which is writing how they use the different parts of their bodies, and then using that to help them write some paragraphs for activity 2. If anybody needs some help, they can just unmute, and I'm here. That's what my job is. Don't worry about putting your hand up, just unmute and start speaking. If you've done one of those paragraphs, you can use your friend or your relative's favourite colour and birthday month and birthday date to help you perhaps write a second one. And then you can choose your favourite one to read out when we all get back together at 1:45. It's very quiet, which makes me think everyone's getting on really well. and are writing amazing paragraphs, showing me how people feel and not telling me, which I'm excited to read, or listen to rather. I think Saba, some of those hands are from earlier, and if anybody needs any help, they can just unmute and ask, and I'm more than happy to help. But there's no need to put your hand up if you need any help. Just unmute and ask for help. And then this from the side. So somebody I think is unmuted and speaking, but I can't hear you. Can you repeat that again, please? I think it's Javiria. I think you might need, your microphone's not very good. I think you might need to type your question into the chat because I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Sorry, my microphone was on mute.
Okay, okay, as long as you're okay. Now it is, it's 5:36. We've got 9 minutes. So hopefully, I would say by now, everybody should have moved on from these boxes here and have moved down to activity number 2. Now remember, it says at the top, if you've done one, you could use the favourite colour and date of birth of a friend or a relative to help you write a second one. Some of them are quite tricky. You might take a lot of imagination. You might wonder why somebody feels disgusted that a fire alarm has gone off, for example, or why somebody feels sad that they're about to go on a roller coaster. Or maybe you don't need to use your imagination. Maybe you don't like roller coasters either, and that would make you sad. But that's okay. If you find it a bit difficult, you can either unmute and ask for help, or just change it to another one. As long as you write a really interesting paragraph using show not tell, I don't mind. Okay, it's 5:40, so you've got 5 minutes. If you have finished your paragraph, I think you've got enough time to move on and do a second one. Maybe it might be a bit shorter. Maybe you think you could write a lot in 5 minutes. It's up to you. So maybe have a think of your best friend. What's their favourite colour and their birthday, and use their details to come up with a second title. Maybe there's somebody in the house with you who you could ask for their favourite colour and their birthday date, and you could use that to come up with an interesting scenario to write about. So if I was to use my sister, her favourite colour is pink, so I'd have the grandfather was. Her birthday is in August, so I'd have joyful. And then she is born on the 18th. So it would be the grandfather was joyful after eating a meal at a restaurant. Oh, how could I describe and show that the grandfather is joyful after coming out of a restaurant, rather than just saying he was joyful after coming out of a restaurant? What can I do? How does he use his body when he's joyful? What's on his face? What are his hands doing? How is he using his body? Again, if you have any problems, just unmute and start speaking. And I'm going to keep an eye on the chat as well, if you want to type it in. But so far, we haven't had any requests for help. So hopefully that means everyone's finding this pretty straightforward. And my explanation has been so helpful that they're going to do some wonderful creative writing this afternoon that we're all going to hear when we read them out in about 3 or 4 minutes' time, okay? We've got about a minute and a half by my clock. So we need to really, if we're on our writing, finish in the sentence that we're on. And then we will all get together in 1 minute and 15 seconds now for us to read these out. And I can't wait to hear what people have said, what people have written, and what bizarre scenarios they've come up with by combining their date of birth and their favourite colour. Okay, it is 1:45. So in a second, I'm going to go through the big list of people that I've got who are in our call, and I'm going to ask people to read their passages out. Now, I'm a very honest man. I don't believe in stealing, except when it comes to English. Now, it might be, if you're the first person to read theirs out, you might just be a bit unlucky. But if you're the fourth or the fifth or the seventh or the eighth, you might hear something that somebody else has written and thought, oh, that's a good idea. And you're not going to copy it word for word because that would be very dishonest. But that might inspire you to make changes to your piece of work, okay? So what I want everyone to do now is to look at the work in front of them. And if you've written more than one paragraph, I want you to choose your best one that you're going to read out. And I'm going to cheat slightly. And I'm going to start off by reading the one that I gave to you. So this is about a grandma who was fearful when trying on a new outfit. And mine said, boom, the changing room door closed with a thud. Mary was stood in front of the mirror, her fingers trembling as she smoothed the delicate lavender fabric. The dress felt strange. And what if it didn't fit? Her heart pounded as her thoughts turned to her daughter's upcoming wedding. She gulped, and her eyes darted around the small space. This outfit didn't feel right. Not for such an important day. So that's one that I did, and you would have all seen that on your worksheet. I'm going to go to the first person on my list. Now, I apologise again if I'm reading somebody's mum or dad's name out, but that's what I've got on the list in front of me, okay? So let's go to Hazel. Hazel, can you unmute and read me one of your paragraphs, please?
Bag. A. I don't want to read my one out.
Okay, Hazel, what I'm going to do, if you're a bit nervous about going first, okay, I'll come back to you at the end, all right? Because it would be lovely to read yours and I can give you some feedback. Right, okay. The next person on my list is Nathaniel. Nathaniel, can you unmute and read yours out, please?
The man was frowning and was holding his hands.
Nathaniel, one sec. Can you read your title out for me, please, so we know what your scenario is?
The man was angry before going onto the roller coaster.
Okay, right, off we go. Let's all listen to Nathaniel's.
The man was frowning and was holding his hands together and kicking stuff before going onto the roller coaster.
I like that. He was kicking things. Wonderful, excellent, good. Now, have we? What was your first bit again? The man was
frowning.
Frowning, and he's got a frown on his face. Good, Nathaniel. Well done, excellent. Good, I enjoyed that. You've shown, not told. Good. Do you think, Nathaniel, this lesson has helped you improve your creative writing skills?
Yeah.
Wonderful, good. I think maybe you could extend it by talking about what colour his face turns when he feels angry as well. But we'll move on to the next person. Thank you, Nathaniel. I enjoyed that. Nikki, can you unmute, please, and read yours out for me? Make sure to start with your title so I know what your scenario is.
The teacher was sad at a wedding.
Oh, okay.
Splash! The triangular rain came pattering down at the start of the wedding. The mass cake had transformed into a muddy puddle. The teacher trembled in the water, in the cold. Oh no, the wedding is terribly ruined.
Oh, wow. Nick, I loved that. All that use of water. I imagined in my head that the teacher was soaked with her tears. Well done. And lots of alliteration there too. Nikki, I was really impressed by that. Would you say this lesson has helped you improve your creative writing skills?
Yeah.
Wonderful. I'm glad of that. Good. Big thumbs up to you, Nikki. I'm really proud of your work. I've got Hanya on the list next. We can unmute and then read yours out with the title at the beginning.
My title is The woman was disgusted because the neighbor's dog was in their back garden.
Okay.
I wrote, Jenny scratched up her face and took a nasty look at the unkempt dog in her garden. With a plop, a nasty revolting odor arrived. Ew, she whined. The dog had pooped.
Wow, excellent. She scrunched up her face. I can perfectly imagine in my head, because I know I'd be pretty disgusted if my neighbour's dog came and pooed in my garden. I really, really enjoyed that, Anya. Fantastic, well done. I think if you to extend that, you could talk a bit about how smelly that poo is and how much the woman doesn't enjoy it, but good. Would you say to me that your creative writing skills have improved thanks to today?
Yeah.
Good, wonderful, fantastic. Thank you very much. Let's move on to, I've got Hafsa on my list next. If that account can unmute and read out their description for me with the title at the beginning.
The grandma was fearful before getting on a roller coaster.
Okay.
The old grandma fearfully looked at the gargantuan roller coaster. Feeling powerless, the grandma closed her eyes, biting her nails. She got on. The soft fabric was not in the least comforting for her as she was shuddering uncontrollably.
Wow, that shuddering uncontrollably is fantastic. I really like that. However, we did say at the beginning she looked fearfully. I wonder whether we could change that and talk about maybe her eyes were darting everywhere really quickly. So we don't need to use the word fearfully because that's kind of giving it away. And maybe we could show what her eyes do to make sure she's looking fearfully rather than tell us. But otherwise, I thought that was a fantastic piece of work. Would you say that your creative writing skills have improved?
Definitely.
That's wonderful news. Thank you very much. The next account on my list is Mohammed. If you could unmute and read out yours for me with your title.
Okay, the man. The man was joyful when climbing a tree. The hungry man, to his surprise, found the enormous tree loaded with mangoes. His voice was high-pitched as a singing bird. He was as happy as a child on a summer day.
His voice was as high-pitched as a singing bird. Mohammed, I'm very impressed with that. Wow, well done. I think if I found a tree with any sort of food growing from it, apples, mangoes, bananas, whatever, I'd be delighted. Mohammed, would you say to me that your creative writing is improved today?
Yes.
I'm so pleased to hear that. Thank you very much. Well done. The next person on my list is Abjit. If you could unmute and read yours out for me.
The police officer was joyful during the visit to the zoo. The police officer was laughing crazily and running stupidly everywhere. Everyone was staring at him strangely.
Lovely, excellent, well done. I really like that one, how he was running around just smiling, because you really get the sense that he's happy and excited. The only thing I would do is I'd add a little bit more detail, okay, to make sure it links back to the zoo. Was there a particular animal that he was excited to see, perhaps? And maybe we could add in a bit more detail about that. But otherwise, I thought that was a really good effort. Well done. Excellent use of show, not tell. Would you say that your creative writing skills have improved?
Yes.
Good, wonderful. Okay, thank you, Abjit. I've got Hamza on my list next, I believe. Oh, Hamza's just typed in, he doesn't want to read his up. That's no problem. Then I've got Hanya next. If you've already read yours out and I'm making a mistake, just say, because sometimes the names move around the list. Hanya? So you've read already. My mistake, Hanya. The names are moving around on the list and they're not staying in order. I've got Hiba next. Oh, unmute. There we go.
My sentence was the doctor was angry because the fire alarm went off.
Okay, off we go.
The doctor was extremely annoyed by the disturbing ring of the alarm. He put his hands on his hip and his grin turned upside down. His face turned a shade of scarlet and his hands clenched and unclenched.
Oh, I like that. His face turned a shade of scarlet and his hands clenched and unclenched. Very impressed, Hiba. Well done. You created an amazing image of in my head of how that person feels. Would you say your creative writing skills have improved today?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Good. Okay. Next on my list is Javiria.
The girl that couldn't stop laughing.
Okay.
Mary's voice was like a hyena laughing, and her face was as red as a baboon's bum. Her hands were punching her legs.
Excellent. Is that the end of yours, Javier? That's wonderful. Good. She couldn't stop laughing. You really get the sense there, without you telling me, that she was feeling joyful. Well done. Do you feel that your creative writing skills have improved today?
Yes.
Good. Thank you. I've got two more on my list, but I might have missed somebody out. So we're going to come to the next two people, and then we're going to double check to see if anybody's been left out. Luna, do you want to unmute and read yours, if you haven't already? Luna, I don't know whether you've unmuted, but I can't hear you. It says you're not muted, but I can't hear anything. Okay, then the last person is it Marine? Mehrine?
Yeah, it's on mute. Speak. Hi.
Okay, do you want to read yours out?
Yeah. The man was disgusted before going on the roller coaster because he had never experienced that he was he had never experienced that, and he was extremely fearful. He was screaming at the top of his lungs. When he got off the ride, he thanked God he survived.
Good. Now, that was a very interesting phrase there. He was screaming at the top of his lungs. I love that image. However, we need to make sure that in our show not tell paragraphs, that we're not telling the reader, okay, how the person feels. So I take out that bit at the beginning about how he was scared and just start with the man on the roller coaster was screaming at the top of his lungs. Maybe we could say his eyes were as white as snow and his face was even paler as he stuck his tongue out without a noise emitting from it after so long of screaming or something like that. Make sure when we're showing, not telling, we don't start by telling how the person feels. But otherwise, that was very good. Would you say that your creative writing skills have improved today?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. What I was going to do, is anybody been missed out?
I have.
Okay, I can't tell who was speaking, but if you can just start reading yours out, and then we can all listen to it.
So the title is The Grandfather Was Fearful When Climbing Up a Tree, and the grandfather was trembling and was falling backwards when he was trying to climb up a tree. At last, during 3 to 4 attempts, he successfully climbed up the green tall tree.
Excellent. Good. Trembling. Well done. I really, really, really enjoyed that. That was fantastic. I definitely got the image in my head that he was very, very scared. Hazel, would you say that was a useful exercise today for you to improve your creative skills? Oh, I'm so glad. Wonderful. Well done. Now, I'm not sure whether, Saba, you're still on the call, but I'm struggling to copy that link. So what I thought I could do, if Saba is able to type that link in with me, if you were found today helpful, okay, if you go on to the 11plusjourney.co.uk and contact Saba, you can sign up for the Year 4 Learning Programme, and you can join us in future weeks for more classes where we do more fun work in Year 4 to make sure that the link is in the chat. There we go. Thank you, Saba. If you click that link in the chat, your mums and dads will be able to sign you up to come and join us for some more classes. Now, I want to give everybody a massive round of applause, but I also want you to give yourselves and each other a massive round of applause. Shall we all do this? Wonderful. Well done. It's 6 o'clock. I'm going to leave you to get ready for school tomorrow. Oh, another week. Oh, it's actually, if some of you got half term, I know some schools have got half term next week, but some schools haven't. So we'll have to see. Right. It has been lovely to meet you all. Thank you so much. And yeah, I will, you can all leave and I will see you hopefully very, very soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Dale.
Oh, that's no problem at all. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.